Hello, my name is Tasleigh Mullins and I'm your host today at the Pageant Perspective Podcast, where we go beyond the sash, celebrating beauty and unveiling stories. Thank you so much for all the likes, shares, and for subscribing. Please don't forget to share. And I'm joined by the lovely Shanice Singh. Please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I am Shanice Singh. I am a travel and fitness enthusiast. I am a model and pageant coach, business owner of Elegance Elevate. I am a sports science student and commercial and runway model.
Oh, a girl of many hats. A girl of many hats. So we're going to start by asking you the judging questions. Your first question will be, what qualities do you look for in a contestant when you are judging?
There's so many. So I look for confidence. I look for poise. I look for, obviously public speaking is very important. What my contestants are advocating for is a really big thing. Their community involvement. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just, I think, overall, just them being authentically themselves.
And that's a very, very important
100%.
Yeah. You don't want them to be anyone else but themselves.
Exactly. And I feel like as judges, we can tell when someone isn't being their true self, when they're putting on a show or faking.
So you can just feel it, or how do you tell? How can you tell?
So I wouldn't say, it is somewhat of a feeling, but you can, I feel like when someone isn't being unapologetically themselves, it's very easy to pick up on that.
It just shows. It's something you can't even describe.
When someone lies, you can tell. It's the exact same.
Okay, so how do you balance the different categories between the beauty, the talent, and personality, when you're making a decision?
So normally when I judge, I have a score sheet. On our score sheets, we have our different categories. So we have personality, we have public speaking, we have runway, like the walk, the way you talk, the way you handle yourself, if you're walking with posture. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that we look at. So I think, and obviously if a contestant is in front of you doing her walk, is she smiling? I always tell the girls, it's not a runway. It's a runway, but it's not runway modeling. It's a pageant.
And you need to show personality.
Exactly. Okay. You can't be walking and have a serious face. It's a runway modeling that you're doing. Pageantry is about showing personality, smiling, interacting with the audience, because you don't get that much of an opportunity to speak until you get an intro, right? Yeah. Where you have a little brief. You give a little brief description about yourself, but we don't know you on a personal level.
So you need to show personality when you're walking.
Show us that personality and show us who you are.
Okay. Yeah. So what is the most challenging thing that you feel you face when you are judging a pageant?
The most challenging thing, that's a tricky one. There's just so many amazing girls. Yeah. Everyone brings something unique to the table. And I would say the most challenging thing is picking a winner, because it's very, very, very tough. And obviously once the winner's crowned, yes, the girls are happy for the winner, but you also see a little bit of sadness and disappointment in them. And it's just sad that, yes, they're all queens, but only one person gets the crown. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's challenging seeing that.
And you see, all of them, are worthy of wearing the crown
100%.
In a certain way, but you also see it, you feel sad as well for them, because it's human nature, for the contestants to feel sad, but glad for the girl that won.
Yeah, I think that's very important. show like being happy for your fellow sister.
But also like acknowledging that you can feel disappointed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And also realizing that even though you weren't crowned the queen of the certain pageant that you're participating in, the fact that you were able to get onto that stage and
is an
do
achievement.
everything that you've done is such a huge achievement, and like that's something worth celebrating.
I agree.
Yeah.
I really agree. And a lot of ladies have to hear that. They really do have to hear that. So can you tell me, what is the most memorable moment that you've experienced during like judging pageants, and how has it shaped your approach to evaluating the contestants?
The most memorable moment. So I sometimes like to speak to the contestants before. I know that a lot of judges don't do that. It's just kind of like go, sit down, judge. But I think it's important to speak to the pageant contestants and kind of get a feel of who they are. And yeah, so I was head of judges for the most recent pageant I judged, and I got to get to know the contestants on a personal and like much deeper level. And they did their presentations on their community works, basically everything that they've done up to the final.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that was really incredible, just spending more time with them.
And seeing what they're like off stage and
and how they handle themselves, because we all went to a hotel, and it was so much fun seeing the girls get together, enjoy each other's company, just like create that special bond.
Family, like outside family. That's the sisterhood we're talking about.
Yeah, so I think that was one of the most memorable things for me.
And how does this shape you when you're evaluating your contestants? How does that experience, shape? Has it shaped you?
Yeah, so I was also fortunate enough to share tips with them. So I gave them an opportunity to walk, do their intros, and I gave them tips.
Oh, so basically like a training session before everything. That's so lovely.
Yes.
We all need a judge like that. We all need a judge like that, especially in the pageant world.
And also it calms your nerves because you aren't as nervous when you see a familiar judge, a familiar face in the judging panel.
Yes.
Yeah, so we did that, and yeah, I kind of looked at if they took my advice and implemented it.
Because you gave the advice, so it's just like, okay, are you taking it? And I'm
here's the recipe, guys. Let's see how the cake turns out.
Yes, everything. Yes, everything you need.
Yeah.
I gave you the tools. I gave you the oven. I gave you the everything.
Yeah. So,
can you tell me how important is the contestant's confidence compared to like the overall look on stage and their physical appearance?
Confidence is everything. People think that because it's a beauty pageant, it's just about beauty. It's so much more than that. You can be the most beautiful person and not have that confidence and feel insecure.
Yeah.
That shows. And on stage, we see that. So you will get marked lower on a lot of things.
Because your self-doubt will obviously now shine through.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when your confidence is high, you're smiling, you're walking with like a little bounce, you're showing us your personality. When you're answering the questions, you can hear the confidence in the person's voice. It just impacts so much of the judging criteria.
And so do you think there's like a fine line between confidence and arrogance? Do you see that on stage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I also think that sometimes when girls are told, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, like you're the most beautiful girl out of like the 10 girls that I've seen here, it can go to their heads, and you see how they look at the other girls, or like how they...
You don't want anyone looking down on anyone.
Not at all.
That's not how pageantry is.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it is a sisterhood. I always say sisterhood, sisterhood, sisterhood. Like, these are your lifelong friends. You guys should be inspiring one another, empowering one another. It shouldn't be, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Or I look better than you, so I'm going to get the crown. It's deeper than that.
And that's very beautiful. That is very, very beautiful. So what role does community involvement and community service play in pageantry?
Such a big role. So we call it a contestant's journey, right? From when you start your pageant, there's obviously something you're advocating for. And pageantry is about community and your community involvement. You have to be making a difference. You're not just a pretty face. There's so much more behind the pretty face. So it's your journey, and throughout the journey up until the final, there are certain things that you need to do, certain criteria that you have to meet to get to the final, to become the top 10 or the top 5, So yeah, community involvement is very, very important. You need to give back.
So how do you make a decision of, do you look at how much work they've put into the community? Do you look at how long they've been doing it? What makes you make the decision in that category specifically?
So obviously it is hours. I don't think we so much look at how long you've been doing it for, because some people can decide, I'm going to start doing community work today, whereas someone has been doing it because maybe their family's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So you don't get an advantage because you've been doing it for longer, But so everyone obviously starts at the same time. When you start the pageant, that's when you guys all start.
Okay, that's when
fresh.
When it starts, like how the judging will come.
Yes.
Okay.
And then based off of that, obviously, your hours. Are you actively doing community work? Are you going and doing soup kitchens, or maybe volunteering at homeless shelters, or
and it's not all about what you can give money wise, but it's about your time.
I think time is more important than money. Take kids for example. If you give a child at a children's hospital a toy, and then someone else gives the child at the children's hospital their time, they actually go, they sit with the child, they color in books, they read a book to them. That's so much more valuable than being like, oh, here's a toy, play with it.
Oh, and we're not discrediting
not at all
people giving, but also people need to realize that you can't just give your time.
Yes.
You can't just give your effort.
Yes. I think as long as you're doing something to give back, as long as you're you have an active role in that, that's good enough. Yeah. But we do encourage that with pageant contestants, that they are physically doing something. So whether it's volunteering at a soup kitchen or spending time with people.
And also understanding beyond themselves,
Yes.
I love that pageantry encourages that.
Yeah.
So can you tell me, how do you manage your personal bias to ensure fair judgment, fair judging of the contestants? Can you tell me how you manage that?
So again, we do have a score sheet. And a lot of people will be like, oh, my child deserved parents. My child deserved to win. And yeah.
But as a parent, you really, I understand. But it's also, it comes from, we have the judging panel for a reason, and we have to trust that they're not using any of their personal bias to make decisions. Yeah.
So our scores are what we judge on is based off scores or on scores. I've judged with many judges who were like, I don't think that contestant should have been crowned queen, or I preferred this lady to.
Because as humans, we all have someone that we're drawn to more.
That kind of attract, yes, 100%. But you kind of need to look. You can't look at that.
You need to look past it.
Exactly.
You need to look past your favorite.
Yes,
if we could say that.
Yeah. So it's literally all based off of scores.
So can you tell me, or can you give advice to anybody that wants to enter pageants? And also, how do they deal with onstage anxiety and nerves?
Yeah, so I would say know what you're standing for. You have to have a cause. There's always a reason behind doing things.
Yeah.
So yes, know what you're advocating for, know what you're standing for. I'd also say be yourself, be authentic. A lot of people look at a certain pageant and be like, this is the type of girl or guy that they're looking for, so let me change. Don't do that.
Just be yourself.
Be unapologetically yourself. Be authentic. With regards to nerves, so I held a workshop not too long ago about on-stage nerves and anxiety. There's a lot of breathing techniques that you can do to help. I always say, like, go for a walk or a run, meditate, pray, whatever helps calm your nerves. Find that one thing that can help you, Husa, and do that. And it makes such a difference when you're on that stage. Also practice. Practice your walk on the runway. Practice your interview questions.
Yeah.
Have family members question you and like ask them, what did you think of my walk? Like, do you think I speak okay? Like, should I smile bigger? Should I reduce my
And sometimes maybe even ask strangers, because sometimes family also,
can also
they're not really honest with you. They're like, yes, my child. Oh, yes, sister, that was fine. But deep down they're like, but they don't want to dim your confidence, But sometimes it is good to hear
a different perspective. And look, yes, 100%. And I also think confidence, right,
plays a role.
Work on your confidence so that when you're on that stage, it doesn't seem that hectic or like nerve-wracking.
Okay. Yeah, work on your confidence.
Work on your confidence.
And sometimes entering pageants allow you to do that, It builds you.
That was one of the main reasons I started pageantry.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a big help. It's a big help.
So can you tell me about I see you say you entered pageantry before, and why you said that is the reason? Is that the only reason? And why did you stop entering pageants? And would you go back? Because we would love to see you on stage. We would love to see you on stage.
Okay, so I was in a modeling school. I started in a modeling school, and this is also why I started my business, because I saw a gap in the market. But we'll get into
You'll tell us.
So I started pageantry because I was like a tomboy, and I feel like most girls say I was a tomboy, but I really was. I was very shy. I was bullied in high school. I was bullied in primary school.
Okay. And is that where the journey started? Primary school.
My journey started in primary school. Okay. So I joined a modeling agency, and it was definitely something. I'd say when I started, and I think we all do this, I compared myself. I was like,
especially when we were younger.
And you're very impressionable when you're younger. Like, you look at other people and you're like, I want to be like that. I wish I had that. And that like breaks down your self-esteem, your confidence. So I had like none of that. And I would compare myself. I'd be like I wish
I wish like that. If
I wish my hair was straighter. I wish I was like a little bit less curvy. I wish, and I'd say, and then also like with the modeling school, we had a lot of pageants and like competitions that we'd do, and it would always be like the same type of person who would win, or like,
so you see a trend and you also feel like,
and then I was like, am I not good enough? Like, am I the problem?
Yeah.
Like, what am I lacking that I can't, that I'm not crowned, and that really took a knock. Like, I was like, I don't think I want to be in this industry anymore. Like, I'm not good enough. And then when I got to high school, I stopped modeling for a while. I was just like, I'm going to take a break. I'm done.
Because you entered that space because you wanted to build your confidence, but instead you found yourself comparing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like intentionally, someone was telling you compare, but it was just you that needed to do the internal work.
Yes. And I think throughout high school, that's where I kind of did do the internal work. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to get back into the space. And
your mind has also... You've grown, you've developed.
Yeah, 100%. And then I started, it's like, okay, I'm going to do pageants again. I'm going to get back into modeling, and got back into commercial modeling. Also, again, started comparing, and I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, why is this me?
Why? Yeah, and then I was just like, I got to a point, and my mom would always tell me that you shouldn't be doing that. Like, you're perfect and you're unique in your own way.
And there's but your superpower is literally being you.
Yeah. Literally, there's nobody like you. And yeah, I was just like, okay. So I think all the years of my mom telling me that kind of like sunk in, and it finally
it was like
light bulb moment. Yeah, and I was like, okay, I got this. I can do this. And once I stopped comparing myself to other people and other girls, I was like, but I am that girl, actually. Like, I can do this. I've got this. And yeah, then I started booking jobs.
And the rest was history. So
that's kind of how my self-confidence and self-esteem grew. I literally think it's just taking that step and believing in yourself and telling yourself. I think it's a journey. It's such a long journey.
It's a very personal journey as well, you know.
Everyone's journeys are different.
Yeah.
I think the first step, though, is maybe say an affirmation every day and be like, I am worthy, I'm good enough, I've got this, I'm capable. And
because if you're going to be in a space like this, you also have to realize the things that do come with it, you know, the reality of it. So,
there's a lot that comes with it.
It's very true. Very true.
So just need to be aware and know that nothing's personal.
So I've heard your journey, and in your experience, how do you think this space, the pageant world, has evolved, and what trends do you see are emerging?
I think that the pageant world is definitely more inclusive, which I love. It's not based on your skin type or how slender you are,
tall you are.
Girl, these were such big things growing up, because I remember growing up, it was just like there was a certain model type. Like you had to look a certain way to be a pageant girl.
And that was real. That was real.
And it was very discouraging, because you were like,
and not all of us are naturally built like that. You know,
100%.
It's not
a
reality.
So I love the fact that we're given the opportunity now to participate and like show off everything that we were born with or given, you know.
And it's literally a thank you to the little girl inside you that struggled and compared yourself all those years.
100%.
I
love that it's evolving in that sense.
So I know you coach as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell me when you started coaching, and what do you coach these girls on?
Sure. So when I started judging pageants last year, and it was just such an incredible start of a journey. When I started, I had obviously no judging experience, and
is that where the coaching started as well?
Yeah, it started with my judging. Okay. So a lot of the girls would come to me and ask me for tips.
And then you were like,
I started giving them tips, and they were like, is it okay if we like sit with you and like ask you questions, pick your brain? Can you maybe help me on my walk? And I was like, sure. Like obviously I was like, come guys, I can guide you. And then I sat back and I thought,
why not?
Why do I should give everyone this opportunity. So that's when I started coaching. I fully started coaching this year.
What is the criteria? Just give me like a few rundown of the criteria.
Sure.
Yeah.
So started coaching this year, and a few of the things that I do coach on: public speaking. I'll go through interview questions with them because it's very important.
Like typical interview questions.
Yeah. It's how you answer these questions and how you present yourself in the interview section is so important, because we obviously need a queen who can speak and who can think on her feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So public speaking, the way they walk, a lot of girls need coaching on that. I was also one of them. I feel like we all start off,
Somewhere, like you don't know something until you learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you also, there's like strengths and weaknesses. You can be an amazing runway walker, but then when it comes to speaking in front of people, you might lack in that area.
Yeah.
So it's all dependent on what I see or what you tell me that you need help with, and I will gladly do it. Also, I think with modeling schools, because I was in a modeling school, and this is where I saw the gap. A lot of modeling schools are it's a class almost. I do individual coaching, so you have all my time, all my attention. I'm yours. Use me.
You can tell me anything. You can,
I will help you with anything. We're in this together. It's not just like okay, I have a group of 20 girls.
Yeah.
And this is all we're going to do. We're going to focus on walking today. If you're a strong walker, you don't need to. Yes, improve.
But you don't need to. You don't need to start on a level that everyone
else is on. So
you can work at their pace.
Exactly. 100%.
I love that. I really love that, because it also feels it feels good to be also met on your level, because you don't want to be backtracking already on what you know and what you've learned.
And also, if you're new to it and you see girls on a level that you aren't on, like professional, you're judging and you're comparing.
Yeah.
I wish I had started earlier, or it doesn't matter.
So we have unpacked so much. You wear so many hats in this industry. You're also a commercial model. Can you tell me how you started being a model, and what was your big break? What made you decide I want to be a commercial model as well?
So I landed my first big job, I guess, and that was for Yum Yum peanut butter.
Oh, I like that, but I can eat it out of the tub.
That was literally the whole concept. I was out here doing a skincare routine, and I had the peanut butter. I was going to put the peanut butter on my face, girl.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you?
No. Because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like, let me take a bite. So that was like one of the big jobs, like the first big jobs that I did. And I was like, this is actually so much fun, because it was my first... with commercial modeling, you have lines sometimes you don't. So prior to that job, most of the roles that I booked, I didn't really have to say anything. It was just like facial.
It was just maybe you're walking or this or something.
I didn't have to speak. For the Yum Yum one, I actually had to
say something.
I had like a whole script.
But that's fun. It takes you out of your box.
Fun. Yeah, because I hadn't done it before. I was like, can I start again? I'm so sorry, I missed a word. And they're like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, it's okay.
I like that. And I'm glad they told you that. It also...
it helps. It really, really helps. And that's also what I tell, like, my girls when in the pageants. I'm like, it's okay, breathe, take your time.
Take your time.
Nothing is that serious, Nothing.
But we're serious.
Yeah, so, that was like my first big job, and that's kind of what like drew me more into the industry, because I was like, this is so much fun. Like, I had put so much pressure on myself to like go over those lines and learn my script, and I was also really nervous, but then the crew made it like such an enjoyable experience, and I was like, I love this.
So can you tell me, like, now we see like how doors open for you, and you literally put yourself in this field, and you're like, this is what I like, this is what I love. And have you had any challenges within the commercial model space, and how did you overcome them?
I think one of the biggest challenges that I have had in the commercial model space is rejection. Because we go to auditions or castings and there's so many females and you have the confidence and you're like, that audition went amazing. I'm going to get that job. And then you're out here waiting for 2 weeks and you're like, okay, 3 weeks. And it's like, okay, I didn't get the job.
And sometimes they don't even tell you.
They don't tell you.
You just see the ad.
Yeah.
You just see the ad.
It's like if you haven't heard back within 5 days, you didn't get the job. Like now we know. But starting out, we didn't know that. We were like, maybe we have to just wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
A month goes by. You see the ad and you're like, oh. And okay.
And sometimes it's not even really about you or your performance.
It is not about you. The client just knows what they want.
Yeah.
And with agencies, especially if there's a brief and you fit the brief, they send it out. And an agency can have like 1,000 models, 2,000 models. And if those 1,000 models
people can fit the brief,
they're gonna go, and sometimes you fit the brief. Sometimes a client sees you and they're like, I like her, I liked her performance. Sometimes they're like, I like her, I liked her performance, but she doesn't really fit what we're looking for. Yeah. And that's okay.
There is always something, if you're not chosen, it's either your performance, it's either your look, but it's not
about you so much.
It's just what the client wants.
100%.
I agree.
Yeah, so I think I've learned not to... So how I've overcome it is I've learned not to take it personal. And rejection is a part of life.
Especially in the commercial model
industry.
Even in pageantry.
Literally, it is so prevalent. And I think just knowing, again, telling yourself, I am worthy. It's okay. I'll get the next one. Or I'll do better next time.
And just keep at it, persistence.
Yes, give that same energy. Know that it's okay. I'll just try again. Learn from it. Maybe you didn't prepare well enough for the audition. So next time, do better. There's always an opportunity to learn.
That is the key to it all.
Yeah.
So let us get to the final question within the commercial model field. I want to know, how do you stay relevant within a space that is so competitive? What would you suggest other models do or aspiring models do?
Yeah. So I'd say with regards to your portfolios, make sure that you are updating them regularly. With regards to your Z cards, make sure that your sizes are correct. I think also with regards to your portfolio, make sure that you have a very versatile look. So take different looks. Maybe have your hair tied up, maybe do.
And always be recent.
Look. Yeah, it has to be recent. Another thing I'd say, always learn, do reading, look at what clients are looking for, maybe.
Or speak to your agency as well.
Yeah.
Aspiring models or even current models.
Yeah. Okay, so I think a big thing would be to make sure that your portfolio pictures are updated, recent, that you have a lot of versatile looks, whether that be having your hair tied up, trying different makeup looks, obviously hands,
clothes, show off the shape of your body or something.
Yes, it's like wearing a dress, wearing something more tight fitted.
Because you are the product most.
Literally, you're basically selling yourself. Yeah. Another thing I would say is, because it is commercial modeling, sometimes we do have a lot of lines that we run over. So maybe find a script from a movie that you like and maybe practice those lines just so that it's easy for you to, when you do get a script, remember the lines. Speak to if you are with an agency, speak to your agency, ask them, do you know what clients are looking for? What do I need to work on within myself? If you aren't getting booked, ask them why.
Why? Communication, your agent is there for you.
Yes. And if you aren't happy with something, speak to them, tell them, be like, I haven't been booked in a while. Can you advise me as to why that is?
Yeah.
Is there something that I'm lacking? Do I need to improve on something? So, yeah. Also, again, confidence.
And keeping persistent, like...
Yes, make sure that you are going to those castings. I know that life happens. We sometimes can't make all the castings, but if you do get a casting or audition and you get a brief that you fit and you feel like that's something that you can book, go.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Like the extent of the extent of the commercial model field or the model field, like people don't understand that it's not just given to you. You have to go out there.
Go and put yourself out there. It's the only way things are gonna come to you. If you're gonna sit at home and be like, I don't know, maybe I'll just wait for my agency to call.
Because how are they gonna find you in your room? How are they gonna find you in your room?
Let people see you, you know? Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. It was so lovely having you. I always enjoy chatting with you. And we need to do it again.
We definitely will.
So can you tell me, how was your experience on the Pageant Perspective podcast?
I loved it.
Oh, we love having you.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
So this is it at the Pageant Perspective podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time from me and Shanice.
Bye.
Bye.